need strength. We don't have it. When Jeb comes out and he talks about the border, and I saw it, and I was witness to it, and so was everyone else, and I was standing there, they come across as an act of love. He's saying the same thing right now with radical Islam. And we can't have that in our country. It just won't work. We need strength.
Governor Bush.
Donald, you're not going to be able to insult your way to the presidency. That's not going to happen. And I do have the strength.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Joining us now on the Malzberg panel is Brent Budowsky, contributor for The Hill and former aide to Senator Lloyd Bentsen, and Seton Motley, founder of Less Government, and that's lessgovernment.org. Gentlemen, welcome aboard. All right, let's start with you, Seton. Who do you think did themselves good yesterday, and who do you think should really kind of drop out by now?
Well, the whole second panel and the people who couldn't make the second panel probably should go. I think, to me, this 2016 election is about immigration and amnesty. And the telltale moment for me was when first Paul and then Cruz went after Rubio for the Gang of Eight bill. When Rand Paul slammed Rubio's national security credentials by bringing up the Gang of Eight bill, Marco Rubio looked like he just swallowed a lizard. So that's the avenue by which anybody who's on the outside looking in from an establishment perspective can undo the establishment's newest best hope to secure the nomination this year.
I think Rand Paul did a lot of damage to Chris Christie. When Christie did the damage to himself, he pointed it out, did Paul. You know, when Christie unequivocally said he would shoot down that Russian jet if it dared to cross the no-fly zone. Brent, your take on what happened last night?
Oh, I don't think much changed at all, to be honest. I think that Marco Rubio is the candidate that Democrats fear the most, with good reason. He's the only candidate that consistently polls ahead of Hillary Clinton. And I think he appealed to a general electorate on immigration and other issues in ways that would probably hurt him in a Republican primary, where his positions are not the most popular with Republican candidates and the Republican electorate. So net, if I were Jeb Bush, I think he did the right thing trying to take on Trump. He did not do it very well. I think Rubio did the wrong thing, focusing on Cruz. He did that very well with Cruz, but I think he needs to take on Trump. I have a column in The Hill today about the Republicans' greatest nightmare, a runaway convention controlled and won by the more conservative candidates and delegates. And I think that's the Republicans' big problem. When Trump said to Bush that he polls at 40% and you only poll at 3%, what Bush should have replied is, yeah, and if you really believe in the polls so much, Donald, you run for president, Hillary Clinton wins a landslide, Nancy Pelosi could return to the speakership, Chuck Schumer beats the Republicans and takes over the Senate with a Democratic majority, because in almost every single poll, Donald, you lose by landslide margins. And if you believe in polls so much,
all right,
you should quote that.
Fair enough point. Seton, I think it's right on to say that, you know, Jeb Bush, I don't know who he was trying to appeal to by basically defending they come here as an act of love. And basically saying we need to let everybody into this country, when the polls show that 68% of the Republicans favor Trump's plan. So I don't know what he was digging his own political grave. But what about the thrust of Brent Budowsky's column and his analysis of the situation, that if it is Trump, you know, the Republicans may lose a lot more than the presidency?
I just disagree. I mean, after 8 years of Obama's abysmal failure, I find it very difficult to believe. You know, I don't like much of this polling this far out, especially in a general election when there hasn't been a general election campaign even started yet. We haven't even voted in the primaries yet. So I think that's way premature. I don't think his down ballot coattails would be catastrophic. Quite the opposite. If you look at his support, 55% of his support is blue collar, who were Democrats. The last time they voted Republican was Reagan. Don't look now. Trump is the one reassembling the Reagan coalition. So too is Ted Cruz. Don't get me wrong. But the blue collar Democrats, high school graduates, and that level of education have been totally forsaken by the unions and the Democrats, and they're open to a message of the wide open borders, the damage done thereby, is not being addressed by either party.
Okay.
So when an outsider like a Cruz or a Trump addresses that issue, you see an influx of new voters that aren't really on the polling radar, and I don't think are represented.
Brent,
numbers we've
Brent,
seen so far.
address that, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz was asked by CNN, what's the difference between Hillary's foreign policy and fight against ISIS and Obama's? And of course, she had nothing to say. She wouldn't answer it. She blasted the Republicans. So when Obama's approval rating on his fight against ISIS and protecting the country is 35%, how on earth is anybody going to vote for Hillary when she's putting forth the same garbage?
Oh, look, and by the way, I'm wearing the fedora today to honor two great men, Frank Sinatra and my friend John Gizzi, just this one time. I want to mention that. No, look, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, you will never hear me quoting as an
No, but we got 30 seconds, so tell me an answer. How is, you talk about Trump, is they're going to lose this, they're going to lose that, but to Seton's point of the coalition, and to my point that Hillary's no different than Obama fighting terrorism and the public doesn't want it.
Well, the polls show that Democrats, Hillary and Bernie, both beat Trump big, and I'm willing to test that in an election. But the truth is, since 2012, Hillary Clinton took a consistently more hawkish position than Barack Obama on Syria, on the whole range of issues. She is much more strong and firm.
All right, we'll have to wait and see. Brett, we'll have to wait and see. Gentlemen, thank you both very much. Up next, we're going to talk about the hung jury in the case against the first police officer in Baltimore. But first, don't forget to cast your vote. Who won the debate last night? Go to newsmaxpolls.com, newsmaxpolls.com.